Hi, Chris.
Hi. Oh, hey, Ellen. Can you hear me?
Um, yeah, okay. Fine. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Hi, Chris. How you doing?
I've been better. I
Um,
just am
Sounds like
got a
you had
cold.
a cold or something.
Yeah, I've been coughing all day, so I didn't want to do that in public.
Uh, wow, the magic of modern communication techniques, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like we're still trying to connect to the city, maybe?
Yeah, I'm glad that you and I are in the same boat, I guess.
Yeah.
4:48. Yeah, I got nothing yet.
They were worried because you guys changed the date for closing down Broadway, and they assume that,
We should be done by tomorrow.
that's what I told her. I was like, from my
Worst
understanding,
case scenario, Thursday.
oh.
If we're
I think
still
it'll
there.
be entertaining to
if we're-
watch FHA kids or FFA kids,
If
like,
we're still there on Friday, then there's bigger problems than the homecoming.
True story. So the football players then
So
make
it's
them
gonna be
switch.
shut down tomorrow?
Mhm.
Tomorrow and Thursday?
Yeah, just right here.
And do we know anybody who has any convertibles?
It's a
Convertible
detour,
cars.
a 12
Mine is
detour.
not running.
Right, so it's still that 2:12.
Anybody else have convertibles?
Okay, starting tomorrow.
They can't get enough convertibles to carry the royalty down the
Because
parade.
I've been talking to Bill.
Have you talked to Charlie at the Flag
Flowers,
Creek?
she didn't know anything about it, and I said, Bill.
I got like 3. Yeah, and last year they used
I'll
to
take
be
it.
cool trucks.
Oh, Kristen, are you there or, all right,
Yeah.
can you hear us fine?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
So, the
Yeah.
meeting,
Hey, guys.
I believe the standing committee, you can still chair, but you guys are also doing co-chair, so you decide, but then
Yeah.
my understanding is you're just gonna do like Doug did tonight and be there and observe, but
Okay.
be an observer, not a participant, and be
No,
remote,
I'm
is that
gonna
correct?
no, I'm gonna participate. I can
Not if
participate.
you're not at council meeting, not if you're
Oh,
not here,
night.
you're not.
Oh, yeah, at the council meeting. I mean, I may pipe up. I'll raise my hand if I do, but yeah.
It'll just be the same thing as Doug, you wait until you will, for public comments.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay,
Yep.
not
But
part of the discussion, not part of the vote.
yeah,
Okay.
thank you. And can I call the meeting to order? Everybody ready? All right.
What's the Wi-Fi?
So first
I'm
thing
getting
is
feedback.
you're getting feedback?
No,
You're good. No, we're
you're-
trying to
you're good.
get,
Somebody else is dealing with a different issue.
yep.
Me,
Okay.
just me.
They,
First thing on the agenda is the minutes from the last meeting. Does anybody have any changes? No, all good?
nope, I think it all looks
It looked
good.
good when I looked at it.
Okay. Anybody want to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of August 27th for Public Works.
And I
Alright.
second.
All right, thank you. And then the next thing is Chelsea and I talked about this last time, but it's hard to run the meeting and then take the minutes at the same time. And so Chelsea has graciously agreed to co-chair the meeting or co-chair the committee. And so I'm going to keep doing the minutes and the agendas, and then Chelsea is going to actually like run the meetings and give the presentations at the city council meetings. So
Cool.
does anybody have a problem with that?
Not at all.
All right,
I'm good
well,
with it.
take it away, Chelsea.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Again, I hope that helps out because I get it. I would not be able to write down and speak at the same time either.
Yeah.
Okay, so reviewing draft applications for the Northwestern Energy grants for the solar carport and restroom roof at Lions Park. Alan Best, you have the floor, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, thank you. I hope everyone has already had an opportunity to read over these. I'll just point out that the only new thing that we had not discussed in prior meetings, which was new onto these onto the grant, was for the carpool solar grant. I added in an ask for $500 for a local artist to make something nice, and an additional $500 for expanding the educational signage, which is already at that site. The total ask remains $35,000. And the Arts Guild Board is discussing what they could contribute in terms of, making connections or whatever for that $500 to make something pretty supporting a local artist there at that site. But I mean, I can go over the applications briefly if you guys want. I assume everyone's already had a chance to look at it. And then my talking points about.
I just see your name on them.
Oh, you didn't see my name on them?
No, I do see your name on them,
Oh,
so I hope you looked it over.
No, I have not looked them over.
Okay, so this is written by Alan on behalf of you?
Yeah, so I need
Okay.
to look them over before.
Yeah.
And I
no problem.
apologize, we've been busy.
I will say that these, the renderings look good. Like that a lot. I honestly, and I apologize, I also have not had a chance to dip into this either.
Well,
It's been,
do you guys want me to give a quick and dirty review of the high?
yeah, so personally, Alan, I would like to be able to,
I don't see them. Do I not get them?
so it came to the Sustainability Board on August 29th.
Right.
I sent them out to you guys too. Let me try and find the email. I can tell you when I sent them.
Oh, God, you sound terrible.
And Alan, I did have a couple of questions on,
wait.
but I would like to have you, I would like to hear your overview
Yeah.
on things. But I do have a couple of
Sure.
things too. So I sent it out on Thursday, the 5th of September. It's titled Agenda Items for Next Week's
Oh,
Public.
got it.
public
Okay,
meeting.
yep, I see it.
Got it.
And there's just
Good.
links to
Yep.
the applications.
Yep, and I have those, so.
Carport and restroom.
If you guys wanted to give me permission to screen share, I could pull up the document, and really
That'd be
one of them
great.
is much more important than
Yeah.
the others.
Yeah. Well, while he's working
Cool.
on that, could I ask you a couple things, Alan?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was wondering, it wasn't clear to me why there were two letters for each grant.
One's a cover letter, which is a one-page summary. The other is the full-page application, which is probably more like 3 or 4 pages.
Okay, so all right, so it looks like a cover letter, but it's actually just the grant. Okay, that answers one of my questions. Thank you. And then I was wondering on the EV charging station, if we could let the public know that the system, like maybe it would be better for Northwest Energy if we had a sign that said that it was made possible via a grant from Northwest Energy somewhere on that signage.
To keep
Oh,
people
yeah,
thinking
absolutely.
all of it.
In the actual application, it's on page, what is this, 3, third paragraph, quote, driving on sunshine, comma, supported generously by Northwestern Energy.
Oh,
Got
it doesn't
your
say that already. Okay, I'm looking at
Yeah.
the other one, the $9,000 grant.
Cool,
So
yeah,
are you
the
saying
smaller $9,000 grant, that's for the restrooms.
On a whole, this letter, like, these look really good to me, and I believe we do in fact have these match funds already designated, so that makes me comfortable.
I'm looking at the bathroom one now.
Alan, out of curiosity, did you ever get feedback from the Arts Guild? We did.
So their
Okay.
August meeting was pushed back to September, and I've been staying in touch with Kim Kapalka, who's going to make a presentation at the September Arts Guild meeting. Her latest feedback, which I thought was encouraging, was after I told her about the idea, which I want y'all's feedback and okay on, obviously for this draft, was that of with the Arts Guild's hopefully valuable advice, making $500 available to a local artist to do something creative and beautiful and awesome to that site, which I'm not capable because I'm not an artist. So, and she said that on this quote, this is something I can take to the board, and so I hope that they will have some ideas and hopefully some positive input.
I love the idea of having a local artist too.
I do too.
I think that's fantastic. So it says the items in bold are subject to change. So I see the 9 kilowatt and then the solar, like the actual modules. Is there a reason that these are subject to change? Is this just based off what Northwest Energy's ideas are, or is this what Mike's ideas are? Just out of curiosity, so I can have a good understanding what might change on us. I'm just hoping it's not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I'm not expecting this to change dramatically. I've already done back of the envelope calculations based on historical usage and future anticipated changes. But those are basically just gonna be copy and paste from whatever Sundance Solar comes back with their bid. And so, yeah, that'll be, it might turn out to be 9.2 kilowatts at 22 panels or whatever. And obviously the price, but that should be ballpark accurate.
Okay.
Awesome. That sounds great. Okay. No, honestly, these look really good to me. I apologize that I do not have the resolutions drafted at this point. It has been, yeah. Summer just keeps summering.
Yeah. I hear ya.
But I do
If I
have
could
it on
just-
it is on my to-do list, and I do have the drafts that I will be working off of to actually have that drafted ready for the next meeting.
Cool. And hey, if you want to ditch any of that groundwork of writing and drafting and using that RLACF grant proposal, to me, I'd be happy to come up with a draft to send to you, Chelsea, for your, tuning up or whatever. Just let me know.
I might be up on that.
Cool. All right. Well, I got my email
But you'll
address.
see. I think honestly it should be really, really easy. I just get to copy paste the majority of it and tweak as needed, but on a whole, if it ends up really beating me up, I will let you know.
That sounds great. My only talking points, which I would love to say about this facility, is that the EV charging station upgrades are going to bring, I think, a lot of tourist dollars into the city, and they're going to be a beautiful, functional, and money-saving amenity for the city as well. So I hope you guys bear that in mind. Thank you.
I would agree on that. Specifically, I've learned at one of our vacation management conferences, people, I want to say it's 56% of people between the ages of 20 and 45 specifically look for sustainable options for when they are choosing their vacation. So that is a pretty massive stat. So thank you for that. No.
Thanks for reminding me I'm no longer in that demographic.
You don't care anymore?
Yep, absolutely. I received that letter from Sherry as well. So,
Hey,
so
Chelsea,
yeah, that's great. Mm-hmm.
can I interrupt for a second? Can you tell me if I can't see on the camera who all is there, but the only thing I see is Mike.
Mike and Corey.
Okay,
And then we got Alan and Al online.
okay, perfect.
Okay. All right. Apologies. I'm operating from small device today, which is very
I
frustrating.
have large device, but not logged in, so I'm
You're just as useful.
Also doing it from here.
All right. So next up, we did kind of talk about the resolution. So again, 3 and 4, we're good on. Dissolution of the pool committee.
Yes.
All right, I can speak to that.
Please do.
Okay.
So this is just conversation, actually, we do not have that on for the full council yet, so this is just to introduce it here.
Thank
And
you.
this is why we do have Al on board. So, the pool committee was created by resolution and then modified by resolution.
Okay.
It is deemed by the majority of the folks on there and staff, I think, is in agreement, and I am also in agreement, that they have fulfilled their
Judy?
charter and it's time to go ahead and that doesn't mean that the people in there can't be used for, you know, reach out and talk to.
Uh-huh.
But what we need to do is put together a resolution,
To dissolve it.
to dissolve it. And
Okay,
so this
okay.
group needs to put together a resolution, to do that. And I had chased down, the two resolutions that created it. Were they in the packet? I trying to think my guess is they weren't because they weren't on here,
Okay.
but we have those, but they're easy to chase down, so.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
just a matter of the guidance we received from council was whatever mechanism was used to establish it should be the mechanism that's used to disband.
Disband it?
Okay.
Okay.
And Al is on if you have any questions of him.
How you doing, Al?
I'm good. As Dave said, though, we fulfilled our assignments and obligations. Right now, the pool is effectively managed by staff and the Public Works Department. And we do have some cash remaining from our fundraising, which we have pledged to Public Works to help pay for the boiler and scrubber. And once that's done, our cash balance will be zero. And so there's really no real need for a committee. Mike and the staff have their resources from myself and others if they wish, but we don't need the committee.
All right, that sounds great.
All right, then.
One less meeting.
One less committee.
Excellent, okay. Next
So what's
up,
what's the next step? Who prepares the resolution?
we get to draft a resolution. Who would like to take ownership of that? Look,
I can do it.
they like look directly into.
I was trying to hide, but I couldn't fast enough. I'll just throw that on with all the other.
And when would that go before council? Not tonight, but would
It
it
would
be?
not be
before-
the next council meeting. If we have that ready by our next council meeting, it'll be up for discussion and review, and then it would be
And then
actually an actionable item the following.
Okay, because
So-
when it's on the agenda, probably myself or Anita should be there if there's any questions.
That sounds great. We'll keep you in the loop.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Al.
Thank
And
you.
have a good evening.
All right, so Parks and Sustainability Board updates. We do have updates, still working on the, again, mostly we were discussing the EV chargers for
Mhm.
Sustainability Board.
Mhm.
Other things, I had my notes all nice and neat for today, and
So
left
did I.
those in my computer bag. I was so prepared.
Mine's still on my desk.
I
I
would
can help
certainly
out just a
appreciate
little
that, yeah.
I don't have much for updates, other you know about the EV chargers and the rest of
Yep.
them,
Yep,
you know, solar stuff. We are putting together working with the Parks Board and putting together a new Arbor Day
that's
plan.
it, that was the other one, thank you.
And, so, that's in the works. And, boy,
I feel like that was a big bite of what we were working on,
Yep.
again,
It's Arbor Day.
yeah.
the
Arbor Day and the EV chargers. Alan's got comment, Chris's comment, we'll go with Alan first, just alphabetical, no offense, Chris.
I have 3 quick little updates and then 4 quick questions. Would now be the time to go over that? Quick
Sure.
hitter thing. All right. This was mentioned at the Parks Board meeting, but I think it was actually brought up at a Public Works Board meeting, so I'm closing the loop there. The DNRC tree planting and removal grants all ended this spring. That was number 1. Number 2, do you guys remember about 6 months ago, the Sustainability Board brought forward the idea of joining the coalition of 10 Montana cities reapplying for Federal Highway Administration funds for EV charges, and we were looking at the Civic Center, and the city decided not to. Spoiler alert, probably wisely, because of the high $25,000 required match. Well, just to update that, so we did not participate in this reapplication for those FHA funds for Civic Center EV charges because of the high match, but they were actually denied again. And so I think probably the take home point is just that it's good to be, as I think we are, picky about which grants we decide to apply for. That was number 2. Number 3, feasibility study update. It's nothing new really, but I was reading over some old emails which the city was looped into, and I found one sentence that I was like, whoa, rub my eyes. Maybe this is important. So I'm just going to reread this sentence. This is from Kyle Mackey of the Montana DEQ regarding the microgrid feasibility study. Quote, our anticipated progress would be to directly contract with an interested local government and or universities to provide funding for a feasibility study and construct a microgrid. The contract would include an attached scope of work that would identify deliverables and milestones for completion of the study, construction of the project, and report submittal to DEQ. You guys are professionals, y'all are used to this, but so maybe this is old news, but that was the 3rd update. And I had 4 quick questions for perhaps Public Works. I can do now or later, whenever you guys let me know.
Alan, let's hold off on that until we have a discussion about that at our sustainability board meeting next Monday. Is that okay?
Sure, that sounds good.
Oh, and then Chris?
Yeah, sorry. The mayor had asked to be, in addition to the financial review of the recycling center, he was wondering if we could provide a review of, let me find his email here. What actually happens to the commodities? Like, where do they end up? Cardboard, glass, plastics, e-cycling, aluminum, and metal. And I'm wondering if that is something that I can certainly tackle it when the summer ends finally. But I'm wondering if that's something that the sustainability would be interested in getting involved in, you know, calling Earth First and saying like, hey, where does your plastic go? Can you give us, what is the journey? What's the end? You know, I think Dave's and probably a lot of other people's concern is that it just ends up in the land. And like, why are we spending all this money to do that? So, Corey, Alan, is that something that you guys feel you could
We're
help
on
with?
it. We do.
Yeah.
On it.
Okay.
We'll take that.
Okay.
Where do our
Okay.
commodities go?
Okay. I will, I'm going to just shoot you a quick email, Alan and Corey, and then you can share it with whoever. And thank you. Thank you for
You're
that.
making me.
I'm sorry.
Tony has no voice left. He's done today, so. Okay.
You say something, I'm sorry.
So that was one thing we also, just to kind of go back to parks updates, I think we got sustainability pretty well covered. Feasibility study, something that's in the works, super excited about that. Then also just the EV chargers, some of these grants that we're moving forward on and very cohesively, which I think is good.
And we're very grateful for it.
I think it's like
Huge.
teamwork.
Huge.
Yeah, work, teamwork. So, other thing with Parks Board, there was discussions on one of the things specifically is, there was a conversation on the Whistler Observatory, having issues with the lights from the county beaming down across the street on the observatory and blinding them from night sky views. There was a plea for the city to reach out to the county, and I think that is just something that, if you would like to see it, there was a whole presentation brought to our attention. I think that is worth looking at. There was also other discussion around the Whistler Observatory in terms of what is open land use and what are the rules, what are the definitions. So something that will probably be brought up again, but just something worth being on the radar. Other thing that was the discussion was the Arbor Day grants. Just kind of reevaluating that because we think that this last go around was a big success, but it was also a large draw on resources from the city. So just looking at it, and again, more so utilizing the tree assessment from several years back, looking at dead tree and dangerous tree removal as one of those options, maybe smaller portions of trees being distributed within the community. So just kind of reassessing that. And then the Parks Board said specifically, if this is going to be something that gets continued pursuit, potentially having committees specifically around Arbor Day business.
Just for trees.
Because it was just a bit of a stretch
Right.
of resources for those events and those pieces. So that was some of the big conversations that were happening there.
Which is great with the popularity and what was needed,
Yeah.
but it was,
And again, I think it went really smooth, but at the same time, we're just limited on space where we can actually put trees at this
for
point,
sure.
in terms of public right of way. So,
And I'm full-heartedly on board for the step back, let's look at what we have, what we need to clear out.
yeah, and I love the idea of clearing out dangerous trees, because again, one of the weird stats is it's like one of the number one deaths on vacations is from trees.
Are you serious?
Yep, trees falling on people, trees falling on homes, kids climbing in trees, like, and breaking off branches. Dead trees are one of the most dangerous things that you'll stumble across, so, just for a city liability reason, I am all about, let's
Five
kill-
less on our property.
let's get rid of some dead trees. So I think that's something that we're moving towards. Another conversation that was had was just reassessing the ambassador of the different parks and really getting a better, because I think everyone got busy this summer, and I think me specifically dropped the ball on the roundabout, but going back through,
Ooh, that was,
yeah.
yeah.
I was also given a little bit of false information on that as well, so. Thought that there was other folks that were taking a large amount of responsibility for that
You're good.
particular park. Anyhow,
I thought it was a Boy Scout.
that's what I was told.
Their
And
sign is still off there. I laid it down when it was weedy, but.
so yes, I think that is
Those
one
Boy
thing
Scouts.
that we will be doing is providing a little bit of ownership to the different people in the Parks
Okay.
Board that will be better about bringing forward attention that's needed to certain
Yeah,
parks.
'cause that's how, when I sat on it for the brief time that I was, it was like each person was delegated a park to.
Yep.
kind
And we're changing the language around from owner to ambassador
Ambassador.
or something along those lines. We don't necessarily want people to say, this is mine.
Where that started was there was a discussion coming up about whether high school students could be park owners, and everybody heard it at the same time and went, no, that can't go wrong.
So again, those are kind of the big touch points. If I missed anything, I believe Alan was there, I believe Mike was there.
Mhm.
Does that pretty well cover what we had discussions on? Great. Okay, that's
Fantastic.
those are our updates there. My gosh, what else do we have on here?
I don't know, but
You asked about the.
Oh,
green
now it's,
team.
yeah.
We've always had a green team, a couple of green teams.
Yeah.
The sustainability board. Those kids are involved in everything else too.
Correct.
Yeah.
So they're having a hard time prioritizing.
Well, and I didn't know, with the new, there are a lot of very ambitious and eager underclassmen that are coming in.
That
and
would be
so-
perfect.
So I'm not sure
Let's
if,
try and target some of those, and
if they can, if,
we're kind of waiting for Kate Melinda to,
and she's got quite a bit on her plate,
oh, yeah.
so.
Beginning of the year, all
But
that kind of
she's our contact over there with the green team, so.
Right, and so I knew that there was still a green team, but I also knew the select few that are on the green team are also on
Everything else,
all the others.
right.
Yeah.
Their college applications are gonna be stacked.
Mr. Maples, Public Works update.
Or should we take this one outside on a field trip?
Right?
Yeah, good.
We can visually see it.
Here, you can have it.
Hey, Mike,
Oh.
can you email that to me, please?
Yep, I'll get her out tomorrow.
All right, I'll
Holy-
send you an email to remind you. Thank you.
So stormwater, we're officially 47 contract days left. It's gonna be really tight, and it's not, I've had projects before where it was the contractor's fault, and this is not the case. It's just been,
So much?
been tough, especially once we got on 11th, it was very slowed down to a snail's pace because all the utilities that
Oh.
perhaps weren't marked as well they should be, and a lot of the inlets were not surveyed as well as they should have.
No.
So, yeah,
That sounds
imagine
exciting.
that, engineers.
Weird.
Tomorrow, the big news is we're gonna detour traffic around 11th on Broadway. We're gonna try and get across Broadway in one long day. Hopefully it will be back open tomorrow night. Worst case scenario, we don't make it, but that's not being considered an option on the table at the moment. But we will be done by Friday, or we'll have
At least by
way bigger
two?
problems than the homecoming, so.
Okay.
We'll just do the parade up at the golf course this year.
Possibly as early as next week. I think that's a little optimistic. We'll do the crossing on 8th as the schedule becomes a little more defined. We will get that notified. We have had some complaints as we moved over. Things went pretty smooth on this side for notification. Once we moved over to basically Hauser, Oaks, whatever,
Mhm.
however that is over there.
Strip of it you're
We
on.
ran into some complaints with notification. We're trying to iron those out. And one thing we're gonna do moving forward is we're gonna, hopefully, by tomorrow, I'll have a map together that'll show all the remaining work. And we'll have brackets with tentative dates around them. And then as that evolves, we'll reprint the map and try and get it out on through the.
Social media and such.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
The online?
The interweb.
Yeah, it should be the news and just the status.
Yeah.
We're,
I think that's the homepage.
it's gonna run, this project's gonna run all the way to winter.
Okay.
It's a big project. We balled everything together. But it's going good. Wastewater, we did get our backup pump for the Highway 212 lift station, so that's a good peace of mind. We are in the process, we never had any backup pumps for the Spires lift station, mainly because it didn't do much until fairly recently.
Mhm.
We are getting some ordered, so that we have them. Tomorrow we're putting a new heater at the Edwards building and some other stuff. Water, we've got a few things going on. I do have some kind of rough numbers on if we were to combine projects for funding the 2023 and the 60-inch bypass projects. We submitted those scenarios to the folks with SRF and waiting to hear back from them on, they can't give us any kind of they can give us an opinion.
Sure.
We're waiting to hear their opinion. Yeah, we have some maintenance stuff we've been doing. Kind of in a big push right now to get the lead and copper service line inventory completed. That's due October 16th. Most of that falls on my desk, and I think we'll make it. It'll be nip and tuck.
October 16th.
One thing that is gonna be on your radar, currently right now, we've got, what'd she say, like roughly 40 or 50 landscape meters out? Is that what Janae said?
40, I think, yeah.
40. So right now, if you water your yard a lot in Red Lodge, you pay sewer for that water. And if you want to not pay sewer for that water, you have to install a secondary meter, which costs roughly
$500 by the time
$400
you get it
in
installed.
materials and then a plumber, so there's another, so you're into it damn near $1,000.
Okay.
And then the problem is meters don't work all the time. And it's a problem for those people in there because they have to do all the math. And the computers get, you can set it up to automatically do it and things go haywire, and then you got a person with a problem bill. And we've got a long list of people that want meters, but we have 100 meters right now that are failed on the water side that we're trying to replace. Meters are hard to get. We're trying to come up with an improved situation for this. And Danae, who understands this as good as anybody does, kind of put together some scenarios. And basically, what it would be, and this is just broad strokes. We're just throwing out ideas. But 2 billing cycles would be altered. It'd be from June 19th, July 19th, from July 19th, August 19th. We could easily stretch that through August too and make it 3 billing cycles. And during that time, basically, the water bill would stay exactly the same. If you use 20,000 gallons of water, you're gonna pay for 20,000 gallons of water. The difference would be you're not gonna pay for 20,000 gallons of sewer treatment because you aren't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the way a proposed way to do this would be the average use right now, and when we did a study for our rates, we came up with, I think, 6,000 gallons a month was the average household. When she ran some numbers on average in August, it was like 6,200, so it's pretty close. So basically, in those months, you would, as long as you use less than 8,000 gallons, your bill would be the same. You'd pay sewer, water, or
You'll pay actual up to 8,000
Yeah,
gallons.
you're gonna pay for 8,000 gallons of water and sewer flat for those months. If you use 20,000 gallons, you're only gonna pay for 8,000 on sewer.
So pay the 20 for the
We
water.
basically stopped billing in surplus of 8,000 during the 3 months.
I'm probably not explaining this pretty well. but
No, it makes
basically, we're
sense.
just gonna average the use.
You're just capping it.
You're gonna
at
average
8.
the use, but I'm just gonna get it down to brass tacks, is the fee going up for summer usage?
The
Or would it
sewer
be-
portion of it, so they'll still pay more for water, but the reality is, we're not treating the stuff that
We're
they're watering
charging
their
them
lawn.
to treat
Okay, so
water.
is it reverse of what you just said? The water will go up, but the sewer
No,
will stay
the
the
water,
same?
No.
the water stays.
No,
The water stays the
will be
same.
whatever it is, so if you use more water, you pay more water. Currently, what happens is you also pay more sewer, because
Right.
the assumption is,
You use
if the
that
water is coming in your meter,
Go
it's
back
going
out.
down your
Sure,
pipe.
yes, I understand
And the
that
only way to
part.
get out of that is if you make a request to have an additional meter, so you install it in.
Yep.
But the problem is, we can't get enough meters, so there's a long list of doing it, new construction
I
gets
understand
first.
all that piece.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
and
save
just
time.
looking at it, if we just say during those 3 months, the maximum sewer is 8,000 usage that we bill for, we get the same results without doing all of the same.
Okay, and we just took an average of what the average household uses during the summer.
The average was
Yeah.
like 65, we went a little above that.
Okay, so.
And there is a reality
Mhm.
that there is probably going to be an impact to how much we are collecting for wastewater.
She
However,
figured that out. It's
What we will be, yeah, she's figuring that out,
No,
but what
she
it'll
did figure it
basically be, okay,
She did.
and what was the impact? Did she come up with it?
If we do, it's a rough number, but it looks like it's about 5,000 a month on sewer.
So about
we did-
5,000 a month, which by the way, we're charging for something we're not actually providing anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
So we'll be getting less, but rightfully so.
well, and.
Well, no, and that, yeah, that
And
makes
you're
perfect sense.
talking about a total of 15,000 over 3 months in a budget that's,
Well, and that'll eliminate all the
That's our
people.
biggest budget in the city.
yeah, it's not, it's not even, it's a trace amount of money.
Yeah. So is this going to eliminate the long list of people looking for meters, or is it
Yeah,
just,
well,
we're still gonna?
Ideally,
And, I think a couple things could happen, or a couple, well, one is, it's gonna make it easier for people to water their lawns and more fair.
Mhm.
We're probably gonna increase our water use, because people that don't water their young birds right now because they don't wanna pay the sewer on that water, are gonna be like, man, I can afford to water now. And we don't have to deal with meters, we don't have to deal with the long list of people who wanna do it, we don't have to try and figure it out, and we're not charging people for a service that we're not providing.
Gotcha.
And I
Yeah.
say that quietly, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
We're charging them sewer on water that they're dumping on their yard.
Yeah.
Well, that,
I hear you loud and clear on that one.
No, that
and
sounds.
so, we're gonna kind of get this a little more
Polished?
polished up, but I just wanted to break the ice with it here, and so that everybody knew where we're going, and I consider it, it's gonna take a resolution.
No, it's actually an ordinance, with
Yeah.
a couple of public mailings in there, because it's a change to utility.
Mhm.
I doubt that we're gonna get complaints because it's an improvement for the users.
Well, I was gonna say,
change to
it's actually
utility,
saving.
But
Yeah.
we still have to follow the process for a change to utility bill.
And it's gonna be, and I'm not sure, I have to get with Janae, and I don't know how it's gonna apply with people that don't have yards, that don't use much water. Are they gonna get charged that same base rate? Because then they're gonna be paying more.
Well, so, and that's what I was wondering,
That's the part
like,
I gotta tease
Yeah.
out. And the other thing is for those 2 or 3 months, we're not gonna be able to tell a difference between a leak, like a running toilet,
And
versus
how much usage for
about
water,
usage.
okay.
So there could be somebody who has a running toilet,
We don't know.
and we don't know, and we're giving a break on sewer,
But
but it
we'll-
really is going down the sewer.
So-
But I think that will, it's not gonna be significant, and when we roll back to normal billing and the season's over, if that person's still high, then we go, hey, Chelsea, you got something going on, because your water bill's really high.
So it'll just be for the summer season, like you said, June,
Yeah.
July,
And
August.
we originally just did it as 2 months, but
Well, I'm looking at like how August.
I'm new here, but it seems like June's pretty wet. We could
Yeah, I was
probably
gonna say, I don't
do-
usually
June.
need to water too
July.
much in June.
No, it was July and August.
Yeah.
Do 2 months, but, well, I look at this as a winter project. I'd like to be able to work through it over the course of the winter and have it in place by
By the fall.
irrigation season.
Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah,
So that was water. Streets, we got a lot going on. The FEMA project's about 90% complete.
drove on that today.
There's gonna be mixed reviews on it. A lot of it, we were kind of, limited by FEMA on what we could pay, we were limited by FEMA on what we could pay and what we couldn't. That's why we ended up with a lot of these little
Patches?
10-foot strips down the, like Hagen.
Mhm.
If it wasn't damaged by a flood, they won't pay to replace it. There were some areas that we were able to make a case that, from the time of the flood till now, in the winters and the whatever, we lost,
Yeah.
decent pavement to come back to, so we had to expand from those original lines.
Okay.
Doing so, we managed to get, I feel like we did pretty good. We'll see how FEMA handles it when they come in and look at it, but, like, they had half of Park Street getting paved. And there wasn't hardly anything.
And
Yeah,
on some
nothing
of the
left on
streets, it
Park.
wasn't necessarily half, it was like the 2 edges.
Well, and that's what I noticed just
But-
driving down to that.
No,
was
yeah,
it
it was
like,
half one lane,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but we just did it all.
I would've just done like park, like right down the middle.
I'll say Park's looking
Yeah.
good, but.
Yeah.
So that's about 90% complete. We did do quite a few little paving things for the city, too, just patch jobs here and there. We still want to do 3 more. We did get our new little grader. I found one in Idaho. We got it here. We just got it out, we serviced it and got it out today. It's gonna be out a lot. I think it's gonna make a real impact on parking areas in the alleys, like the sides of the street where we have poor drainage and they're all messed up from snow plowing. We're gonna be able to tune those up nice. EDA grant's still in the wind. I hope that it's just a bureaucratic thing.
When was the last contact?
We asked last week if there was anything new, and they said nothing.
They said, it's like,
They-
radio
So they
silence?
said nothing new.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So we asked our intermediary if they had heard anything, and their feedback was, yeah, they're busy.
Okay, noted.
So we just keep the fingers crossed and, well, if we get it, great. If we don't, it's not the end of the world. We have started moving forward with the sidewalk trip hazard mitigation project, whatever you want to call it. The grinder's been ordered. Theoretically, will arrive in Billings on hopefully Friday. They're gonna assemble it, bring it down here, get it next week and train us, and then shortly thereafter, the lifting contractor's gonna come in and get busy. I don't know that we'll make it through the whole project before winter, but we'll get what we can. Pool's closed, we started winterizing it today, and we'll have winterization things going on for the next couple of weeks. The new boiler's ordered, should be here 6 to 8 weeks. Got some park stuff, we've got a few things.
6 to 8 weeks is kind of like 2 hours in, oh, brother, where art thou? It's kind of a, ain't this place a geographical oddity?
Mhm.
Big thing, there's some little small stuff I need to go through. we're doing a pretty big project up at Coal Miners Park. I don't know how much of that will get finished this year. It's gonna be somewhat, weather dependent and budget related, but, we've already made it, it's already looks better than it did before, so we're winning. We are gonna reseal the, concrete next week at Pride Park and Skate Park. Hopefully the weather, we were gonna do Pride Park this week, but the rain scared us off. And blah, blah, blah. That's all stuff you can read through. In terms of, the other thing that's kind of come up, and this is maybe parks and possibly streets, but, been noticing a lot of spotted knapweed around both some boulevards and in the parks, and, had a pretty good conversation with the county weed, coordinator, and they're gonna come up probably in a week or two and do some spraying here for us. I'm hoping it's same, in Truro, we had great luck with spotted knapweed spraying it with Milestone in the fall, and Milestone is really mild, herbicide, safe, you can spray it by water and everything. So hopefully that'll occur, yet this year, and I think that's it.
All generator applications.
Yeah, I got those back from, after several rounds of back and forth. We got, our applications have been approved. Now we have to go through the whole rigmarole of, getting all the documentation done. We have till October 5th to get it done, and that's probably, it'll be done by then.
Okay. I had one comment brought to me today from a resident on Park, just in terms of notice.
No, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
I want to hear, just make sure it's one of the ones I've heard of.
Specifically, it was the Haymans asking why they were not notified, a little disappointed that they weren't. I mean, it was literally closing off right in front of their house. We also manage a property 2 doors down, also didn't have any notice, and for us, that could be really detrimental for guests and, you know, say we also manage another place on the opposite side of Kim with long-term tenants, so.
I think that ball got dropped on that. I talked to Ed after I talked to you.
Okay.
His guy was supposed to go do it.
Yeah, I
the guy
just wanted to figure
didn't
out
do
where
it.
the ball was.
So what happened is, we have said there was a higher, and I'll address this on a larger scale tonight. We said they need to notice them. They brought in somebody specific to go through and notify. It got dropped on Park. So when Kim called me Saturday, I went down on Saturday and we looked, I called and talked to Ed. Ed came down, we got some signs up on it.
Yep.
And we had an additional couple of corollary conversations in relation to that. And then today we had a follow-up that was basically, you guys either need to put a closed loop thing to make sure it's getting done, or we're gonna inject ourselves into that closed loop, and that's where the idea that Mike came up with, if we're gonna have a map, we can put it out there.
Love that. Yeah,
And then
that seems great.
we can have a more confirmed, yes, everybody in this area has been notified, yes, everybody has been. So there's
Okay.
been a couple of them, so just part of what made the Haymans ones worse is because on the other side,
They got hit there too.
they got hit on the day before, and so the next day, we talked to her and got that taken care of, and then the next day there was milling going on that they hadn't heard anything of.
Yeah, the other question on that, and I think I was misinformed on this too, or probably misunderstood. I was not under the impression we were doing Park this year. I thought we were just doing that.
Park is FEMA, so Park is not related to the stormwater, so there's two different
Right.
things that are impacting pavement.
Yeah, I understand
So
the
Park is-
FEMA, but I thought we were just using FEMA dollars for Platt and Hagan. That's where I was confused.
It's an all over the place.
Okay.
2015.
Cool, okay.
All of
Yeah.
the above.
And-
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
all
where-
streets- We're doing 9th and Cooper with the FEMA project.
Okay.
It's all the streets that were impacted by the flood.
That were identified.
In the
Yeah.
original drawings they came up with, for whatever reason, they did not have Park in there, so we added that. And
Okay.
then I was like, well, what about 9th and Cooper? I mean,
Yeah.
the flood took the whole road out.
Yeah.
They were like,
There
oh,
is no
yeah.
more.
Then we added
Oh,
that.
right. Yeah, okay, I think I was thinking of the preliminary maps then. That's probably why I was confused.
Yeah.
And the other question on that was, is there not going to be a water project on Park?
There is.
There is. So we might have to tear that back up.
No.
Okay,
No,
just wanna confirm.
So I just thought the same thing.
Yep.
So I was like, wait,
Where the pavement stops is where the new line stops.
Okay.
And then we'll pick up the new line, run it south, and then tie it back into 212, going to the creek.
through.
And then we'll pave that section back, and then Fletcher Park should be a pretty good street. And
Yeah.
the water project will only cover the trench,
Mm.
but I have to look at the drawings. I believe, well, when it happens, we'll figure out a way that we can just water only phase, it'll be like this, and we
Right.
don't want that. We're just gonna find the extra money to pave it all.
Cool. Well, I will say, it looks great over there. I just wanted to make sure I got certain clarifications, so that's all.
No,
it-
that's,
it-
that,
It came out beautiful.
It looks really good. Like, I was just over there today and,
That whole intersection that was a lake is.
Oh, yeah.
If you get out and look at it, it's crowned always, they did a beautiful job, it's gonna
Really
shed
good.
water, it shouldn't get potholes right away, it's good.
yeah, I'm pumped on it. Like, again, I mostly just wanted the clarifications that was brought to my attention, but I was over there today and I'm like, this looks really nice.
Oh, look at this.
thanks for just reminding me something else. I
No
want to
bumpy.
mention here.
All right, well, I think that's it on our agenda. Anything else, Chris? Anything else, anybody?
Anybody? Oh, we lost
Alright.
Alan. Oh, we lost.
He's like, on board, we're talking about roads now. All right, excellent. Well, this meeting is adjourned.
Perfect.
And that means I'm gonna take a break.
Thanks. Thanks, Chelsea. Good job.
Yeah, I can run meetings, just don't ask me to write stuff
You
down
know,
or.
as soon as you said you had a cough, my throat started bothering me again, so it's
Oh,
not.
God.
Over
I'm
the
sorry.
arrow.
You sound like all my students.
I've been living on these.
I'm gonna go ahead and knock this down so we can get the next meeting going.
Okay, guess what?
Bye-bye.
Well, I got